On December the 17th, 2018, our lives changed forever. The McMahon family stood in that very ring and imbued us with a profound responsibility, our ultimate dream job. "We haven't been doing a very good job for you lately," said Stephanie McMahon, the wrestling equivalent of saying the Titanic's maiden voyage didn't quite go to plan. "No shit. We're gonna give you what you want," Triple H added. "As of now," he said, "you are the authority." We had the power. So, what have we done with it? Well, we didn't place a moratorium on distraction finishers, we didn't have Chad Gable bring prestige back to the Intercontinental title, and we didn't, after nearly 7 years of blue balls, push Cesaro. We just sort of carried on from where WWE were, with a few tweaks, bells and whistles. The disturbing truth behind WWE's new authority is that we're pretty crap too.
Why?
Oh, thanks for asking, Simon. Here are some of the worst decisions we've made whilst being in charge. This is the disturbing truth behind WWE's new authority. Called up EC3 and did nothing with him. We inherited the roster, and for the most part, it's pretty good. Right, this isn't an excuse, please understand, but just ask my stepdad and he'll tell you that sometimes you inherit things through no fault of your own that you hate. We, the core wrestling crowd beloved of work rate and such, didn't ask for EC3, and so we've done nothing with him. In EC3, we have a charismatic, witty talker with the ability to project a rare inherent star power of the sort that naturally springs storylines. But he can't wrestle a 4-star Raw match, so we just stuck the poor prick in front of a mirror. Job done. Called up Nikki Cross and did nothing with her. Technically, we can do anything we want, within reason, Vince, with any talent. We can do anything with Nikki Cross, and it'd be consistent with her character. She is unhinged. She doesn't follow protocol. She opens up pages of narrative possibility by virtue of her very act. She can assault people backstage. She can hijack the ring because she has no concept of etiquette nor rational behavior. She can hide under it and then trap somebody behind the apron, taking their place in the match. She's crazy. She could create some good, old-fashioned, anything can happen in the WWF excitement, being an agent of chaos and all that. But Nikki Cross only plays on her switch in catering, because we have apparently decided it's time for Tamina to finally unleash those biological second-generation instincts. Only selectively put an end to the automatic rematch clause. This was key to rehabilitating our brand image. WWE has never offered so much product, and the product has never felt so overfamiliar. The endless rematches almost dared the audience to stop watching, because the audience had effectively watched the exact same show the week prior. And so, they didn't watch. Ratings tumbled, and we became the authority. The very first thing we did was assuage the concerns of the audience by outright telling them that, look, the whole automatic rematch thing is antiquated. The very second thing we did was announce, with no storyline cause, an Asuka vs. Becky Lynch SmackDown Women's title match for the 2019 Royal Rumble. Whoops! Just had Lacey Evans walk about a bit. Lacey Evans was a bizarre choice, admittedly. She hasn't yet mastered the basics, and a multi-million-dollar training facility staffed by several genius wrestling minds probably is the best place for her, as opposed to the harsh, stigmatizing glow of mainstream international television. Yes, she fell over a few times at the Royal Rumble, but you guys, you're missing the big point here. Her legs are really, really long. It doesn't matter that they throw her off balance. They're hot. And she has a background as a US Marine, which we can market under the guise of a Southern Belle character? We screwed up, okay. But here comes the genius part. She can't wrestle to standard, so we just don't have her wrestle. She walks the ring and then back up the ramp again. Look, she's here now, so just bloody get used to it. Didn't really book Asuka much. Asuka is the SmackDown Women's Champion. I know, I forgot about her in the title too until Mandy Rose went arse over tit at Fastlane. We probably should have corrected this. If a champion isn't worth putting on TV, then what the hell does this say about the rest of these geeks? But we just sort of didn't. We are indirectly burying the very notion of a championship here too. We get it. It's just really difficult, you know. She can't guest commentate, so what good is this pro wrestler? Ooh. That felt very Vincey. put injured Tommaso Ciampa through the ringer. To quote a famous baby punter, this wasn't our fault. Sure, we knew full well that Tommy Ciampa's neck was hanging on by a thread, and it probably wasn't a good idea to have him wrestle any more than was strictly necessary, but what were we to do? Yes, we were mere weeks away from the culmination of the epic, intricate 2.5-year Johnny Gargano feud, but come on, we needed to pop a Raw rating. Don't ask about Gargano either, alright? Just sort of made up the rules as we go along. Come on, guys, we're better than this. We should know that consistent world building is crucial to immerse our audience in that world. We retreat into a fantasy world to relieve ourselves of real-life headaches, not to suffer more of them. We want to watch engaging stories with physical eruptions. Ideally, we don't want to ask why in the blue hell Naomi and Carmella A teamed up in the first place, and B simply announced their entry into the Women's Tag Team Elimination Chamber match. This is in contrast to their Raw counterparts, who had to qualify because we probably shouldn't have created the new titles in the first place, really. Search your feelings. You know it to be true. There are so few women wrestlers on SmackDown that Sasha and Bayley haven't even appeared on the show. And one of the 3 tag teams on Raw has Tamina in it. It also has Nia Jax in it. Wrote a moment of bliss. Credit where it's due, talk show segments work. Talk show segments facilitated 2 of WWE's most prominent creative triumphs of the 21st century. The feud between Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels, and in effect, the symmetrical genius that was the 2017 Festival of Friendship. And so, to make use of an injured performer who excels on the microphone, this made sense. But of all the people we could have picked to write the material, we settled on this guy, who even Vince McMahon used to call Pervy Greg. That's not his name, obviously. Why would Vince know his name? But you get the point I'm making. Pretty lady. The verbiage on the segment was and is putrid. Recast as a leering pervert, Bliss, in addition to slobbering all over Finn Balor's abs, remarked to EC3 that she'd heard of his pretty large bank account. Were we, as the authority, being too subtle here? She was referring to EC3's penis, if that makes things any clearer. Look, we'll do better next time. On next week's Raw, we'll script a less confusing segment featuring guest Braun Strowman. Picture the scene. I don't want to get these hands. That looks painful. But I do want to get that dick. Crafted the worst tag team origin story of all time. Why do tag teams become tag teams? This is a question we asked ourselves as we sought to rebuild tag team wrestling. It's no use just throwing 2 guys together without some sort of familial or philosophical connection. They don't feel like tag teams. We have to think of the here, the now, and the breakup. We need something as meticulously plotted as the DIY saga to convince disenfranchised fans that we can stick the landing and that they should stick around to see the classic blood feud blow-off that is to follow. Yeah, we didn't do that, I'm afraid. We threw Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura together because neither man was doing much of anything. Well, they were feuding over the United States title. As we all know, that doesn't really count. The thing is that we properly botched this fantasy booking scenario. This was the Shockmaster of booking. Cast your mind back to the Royal Rumble. Nakamura callously endangered Lana to recapture the gold, but relinquished it to R-Truth just 48 hours later. Great! Rusev should have been happy. Nakamura had literally injured his wife 2 days prior. Instead, he bonded with Nakamura over his hatred of a comedy character. What? And yet, despite all these things, we haven't even yet got to our biggest mistake of all. We maimed Becky Lynch. We are new at this, okay? This bollocks is a lot harder than it looks. We're not a multi-billion-dollar sports entertainment empire. We can't draw on years and years of the expertise that has seen WWE monopolize the industry to promote effective wrestling characters that do not in any way undermine their core appeal. Besides, during the handover process, Vince McMahon personally told us, and it was on record so we can quote this, "The WWE universe is populated by goddamn morons." We know babyfaces are meant to be sympathetic, and so we've decided to take a broad route. the broadest bloody route. We play to an audience that enjoys visual cues, so we've handed Becky Lynch a crutch with which to walk, because she's got a hurty leg, remember? We changed our minds at one point and cleared her for action, but then we just had Charlotte re-injure her leg. Sorted. That Charlotte thing too. We are breaking the whole give the audience what they want thing here, but try to see it our way. By adding 2 women into the Major Ronda match, we now have 2 women to sacrifice to Lacey Evans for that 2018 Carmella push. Bring back the authority, please. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And check out our new wrestling podcast by searching for What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes or Spotify. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.